second speaker, we have Professor Sumitra Kukreti ma'am, who is Pro Vice Chancellor of IGNOU University. In honor of Kukreti ma'am, I can actually, I feel like reciting a shlok from Subhashitani, which says, Vadanam Prasad Sadanam Sadar Hridaya Sudha Mucho Vachah Karanam Paropakarnam Yesham Kesham Nate Vandya. Who will not honor such a person who keeps a smile on her face always, has compassion in her heart, whose speech is speech like nectar, which will always give pleasure to the listener, and whose work is always to help the needy. It's a pleasure to introduce Professor Sumitra Kukreti to you. Professor Sumitra is a doctorate and a doctor of literature, and she, as you know, is Pro Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. Her glorious teaching career of more than 3 decades and her journey as an academician has seen many milestones of success and is full of many worthy laurels. She has offered her services as Professor of English at HNB Garhwal University, Uttarakhand, at NJP Rohilkhand University, Bareilly, and GP Pant National University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. She has served the nation in many capacities, ranging from Head Department of English, Visitors Nominee for HNB Garhwal University, Srinagar, Coordinator Center of Excellence, Member Academic Council, Subject Expert in many selection committees, and so on and so forth. Making a meaningful contribution as a scholar, Professor Kukreti has authored 3 books, 53 research papers, and has presented papers in many national and international seminars, workshops, and conferences. The list of her achievements and contributions is exhaustive. I would just cut it short here, and I would invite ma'am for her insightful talk. Ma'am, please.
Very much. It was already an elaborate description. Professor Nilima Gupta ji, Vice Chancellor Dr. Hari Singh Board University, Sagar, and Chairperson of this event, Professor D.P. Gupta ji, Professor P.K. Kathal, Professor Giri, the superannuated teachers who are being felicitated today, and all other academicians and students present here. My namaskar to all, and best wishes on Teachers' Day. Actually, it is a great pleasure for me for being invited over here. Though I was also invited in Sagar University years ago in different capacity, but I could not make it that time, and I'm very happy to see this campus with lots of greenery and many vibrant academicians. So as we all know that World Teachers' Day is celebrated on 5th October, but here in India since 1962, we celebrate Teachers' Day on 5th September to commemorate the birth anniversary of our second president, Shri Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who also happened to be a teacher. In Indian culture, teachers are always regarded with great esteem. And बचपन से ही हम लोग सुनते आए हैं, though it has become a cliche actually, but even then I would like to quote Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, and Guru Govindo Khade Take Lago Paye. इसके अलावा there is another quote, Ajnana Timrandhasya Jnananjasya Shalakya Shakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. और आज प्रथम पंक्ति में बैठे हुए सभी सम्मानित शिक्षकों को देखकर मेरे मन में यही भावना आ रही है. Teachers are those who dispel darkness of ignorance and lead their students to light of knowledge. Teachers transform the personality of the students by providing them knowledge, by providing them education. and naturally I will try to make myself brief and pinpointed, but if you feel that I'm being lengthy, please just remind me. So we know that education is a tripolar process with three components: students, curriculum and teachers. And no matter how good, how effective the students and curriculum are, but if a teacher is not competent, or if he or she does not match the yardstick of societal needs and expectations, the desired results are very difficult to be obtained. I hope all of you would be agree with me. So that envisages the utmost significance of a perfectly chiseled curriculum designed in a way to suit the requirements of contemporary society and interest and capability of learners. But at the same time, it also calls for competitive and effective teachers to transfer that knowledge to the future generation. अगर शिक्षक ही अच्छे नहीं होंगे तो कितने ही अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स हों, कितना ही अच्छा करिकुलम हो, वो बात पूरी तरह नहीं आ पाएगी. Then education must aim to develop a holistic, multifaceted personality and complete human being, and the onus of fulfilling that mandate of NEP lies on the teachers up to a large extent. It would be in place to say that 21st century has witnessed complete transformation in teachers' role and responsibility from being a sage on the stage to becoming facilitator of learning process. And as we all know that in olden days, a teacher used to be known for chalk and talk. सबसे ज़्यादा effective वही teacher माना जाता था who has communicative ability to address the class as well as whose blackboard work is perfect, जो class में designs, drawings और blackboard work के माध्यम से शिक्षकों को बहुत अच्छे से अपनी बात communicate कर देता था. And in that condition, a student was as good as his teacher was. Though teacher's voice was regarded as Devvani, nobody could challenge, none of the students would ever think to challenge the capability and capacity of the teacher. But there were possibilities of limited growth for students. Of course, challenges were also limited for teachers. But today, we know that that scenario has completely been changed. When a teacher today enters in a classroom, he knows very well that there are internet, mobile, podcast, e-learning material freely available on internet, and all the information on the topic, on any topic, is just a click of mouse away. And you never know that the topic that you are going to teach in the classroom, a student has already prepared that, and he already knows much more than that. So as a teacher, it tells us, it reminds us that we need to prepare ourselves much better, because this use of technology has imposed great challenges for us. अब शिक्षक की वाणी देववाणी नहीं रह गई है, और बहुत सारे अर्थों में अब गूगल गुरु ही शिक्षक के ऊपर, क्लासरूम टीचर के ऊपर हावी हो गए हैं. So as a teacher, I think all of us must realize this, because use of technology at every step in education system, be it admission, classroom teaching, examination, evaluation, or even research, it emphasizes that the teacher must be techno-friendly if he wants to upgrade himself. If not, then his survival is not going to be very easy. The mandate document of NEP 2020 clearly states that to compete in the globalizing world, the role of teachers is essential to improve the sustainable education. At the same time, inspiring and guiding the students is essential for a teacher. Thus, a teacher in the 21st century will be a digital teacher. So teachers are not only the facilitator for learning of the students, but they are also responsible for training the students, for increasing employability skills, expanding the mind, critical thinking and creativity, as well as sustainable learning and, most important, counseling. Because NEP has also given that responsibility to the teachers. So thus, in this new scenario, winning of a teacher is winning of a student. Or we as teacher, we have to evaluate ourselves with the success of our students. With the integration of technology in every sector, the teacher's role has changed a lot. They need to enrich their skills to develop their students, otherwise the teaching would not be enjoyable as NEP demands. And it will increase educated unemployment in the digital era, which is the greatest problem in India today. So let's see the changing role of a teacher in line of NEP. जैसे कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि आज के कॉम्पिटिटिव वर्ल्ड में एक स्टूडेंट के पास लिमिटेड करियर ऑप्शंस नहीं हैं। जैसे कि पहले होता था बायोलॉजी लिया तो आप डॉक्टर बन गए या टीचर बन गए, उसके बाद साइंस मैथ्स लिया तो यू go to engineering, that was certain. But now a student has many diverse career options. So actually this calls that the teacher who is teaching in the classroom should be completely aware of all those options which are available for the student. And then NEP also states that the future of a student will depend on 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, collaboration and creativity. So it is duty of a teacher to introduce the students to these mentioned terms and to provide a proper guideline to build a career in the 21st century. The students will need to try several multidisciplinary jobs. So the teachers will define where they should give more importance and which are just for value addition. So teachers should be very clearly able to identify between skill-based courses and value-added courses. क्योंकि यहाँ NEP में skill-based courses के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा emphasis डाला है, जैसे कि अभी मुझसे पहले प्रोफेसर गुप्ता ने already कह चुके हैं. Now teacher has also become a resource provider. We know that in this digital age, internet is full of supportive resources. Internet has all kinds of information, all kinds of material a student seeks for. There are videos on YouTube, digital content, e-books, and even the printing documents. There are open e-resources available for students. There's EPG Pathshala, courses like CURRICULA, Udemy, Swayam, etc. Actually, मैं आपको एक बहुत interesting चीज़ बताती हूँ. I think most of you would be familiar with that. When it was years back when a book by Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart, was introduced in my parent university, Rohilkhand University. तो उस समय हमारे पास उस पर teaching material नहीं था. Then I started looking for e-content, and then few years back, I got some very good materials, very good YouTube lectures which were prepared in EPG Pathshala. और वो उनका quality, उनका content इतना अच्छा था that I immediately referred those content. I used them for my classroom teaching, and I told my students to look for content through EPG Pathshala. Then remember, all of us have to remember that the teachers who are builders of the nation, they are lifelong learners. क्योंकि शिक्षण या सीखना एक ऐसी प्रक्रिया है जो कभी भी ख़त्म नहीं होता. हम किसी भी आयु के किसी भी स्तर में हो, जैसे कि डॉक्टर गुप्ता ने पहले कहा, हम किसी भी आयु के स्तर में हो, कहीं भी हो, कोई भी हमारा नॉलेज का लेवल हो, लेकिन हमें सीखना कभी भी बंद नहीं करना चाहिए. only then we can be called a nation builder. I hope all of you know that the 4 pillars of education for the 21st century, as referred by UNESCO, also find space in NEP. Of course, in a different manner. They are learning to know, learning to do, learning to live, and learning to be. So this is the duty of teachers to arouse interest in the students in new discoveries, instrumentalizing knowledge, and with updated paradigms. Another thing is how to move from theoretical knowledge to experiential knowledge is a great challenge. And NEP says that it demands the teachers shift their pedagogical routines, and they should make new experiments by adopting new pedagogies, new skills. It is necessary to be creative and innovative and make all kinds of experiments in teaching pedagogy, because only then we can just adjust ourselves. We can change and transform ourselves according to the demands of the students, according to the changing demands of the market and job sector. A teacher must work towards conflict resolution and to make room for the construction of a cohesive, harmonious and happy group, being a reference for future life. So these were the points given by UNESCO, which have been adopted by NEP. Now from these basic fundamentals, let's move to mandate document of NEP. Page 20 of the policy document of National Education Policy 2020 writes about teachers in the following words. Teachers truly shape the future of our children and therefore the future of our nation. It's because of this noblest profession that the teacher in India was the most respected member of society. Only the best and the most learned became teachers. Society gave teachers or gurus what they needed to pass on the knowledge, skills and ethics to students. The high respect for teachers and the highest status of teaching profession must be restored so as soon as far the best to enter the teaching profession. The motivation and empowerment of teachers is required to ensure the best possible future for our children and our nation. And इसमें जैसे आपने ध्यान दिया होगा, in NEP, the policy makers have realized that unfortunately we as a nation are unable to attract the best minds to this profession. Of course, there are some who have opted this profession out of their choice, but the percentage of such teachers is less. I hope you would agree with me. Then the NEP goes on describing the recruitment and deployment, service environment, and continuous professional development of teachers, so on and so forth. तो जैसे कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि ये जो NEP का पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट है, इट्स वेरी वेरी थिन डॉक्यूमेंट. ये सिर्फ 61 पेजेस का है, लेकिन इस 61 पेजेस के डॉक्यूमेंट में NEP has covered all the aspects of education and all the stages, all the levels of education, right from early childhood education to adult education, higher education, research, etc. So to comprehend the role of teachers as envisaged in NEP, we need to focus on the kind of education NEP designs for our nation. We need to understand the expected outcome of education. In Policy 2020, that policy envisages that education should be interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and it advocated that single discipline universities and colleges should be further developed into multidisciplinary colleges and universities and focus on fostering learners' skills and mental faculties. So we know that teacher is actively involved not only in designing the curriculum but also in implementing the curriculum in the classroom. So he can devise a class and make it activity-centered and child-centered to make teaching an enjoyable experience as NEP demands. So as a teacher, we need to think about the plan and different varieties of student activities we can involve our students in. It will help us to see the lesson from their perspective. अभी तक सिर्फ हम अपने ही चश्मे से स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाते हैं, हम सिर्फ वही पढ़ाते हैं उनको जो हम पढ़ाना चाहते हैं, लेकिन आज एनईपी कहता है हमको वो पढ़ाना चाहिए जो स्टूडेंट पढ़ना चाहता है, जो उसकी स्किल के लिए ज़रूरी है और जो उसकी एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी को बढ़ाने में समर्थ हो. NEP also says that contents to conserve cultural heritage and aim towards character formation and inculcating social and life skills must necessarily be incorporated into the curriculum. So it envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India. इसके लिए सबसे आवश्यक ये है कि एज अ टीचर हमको अपनी गौरवपूर्ण संस्कृति के बारे में और अपने इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के बारे में अच्छी तरह से पता हो और हम तैयार हो कि अपने सिलेबस को उसी सिलेबस के दायरे में रहकर हम अपनी गौरवशाली संस्कृति को भी अपने छात्रों तक पहुंचाएं. Further, the policy document of NEP mentions that with a quickly changing employment landscape and global ecosystem, it is becoming increasingly critical that children not only learn, but more importantly, they should learn how to learn. Tricky it is, because only a teacher can help the students in acquiring this skill. So education thus must move towards less content and more towards learning how to think creatively and solve problems, how to be creative and multidisciplinary, and how to innovate, adapt and absorb new knowledge. Now, actually there are various other things which NEP lays stress on. So the other aspects that find a space in NEP are multilingualism. Earlier, we used to think that all best universities, particularly central universities, should teach only in English, because that was regarded as an international language. लेकिन अभी NEP ये कहता है that more and more teaching should be in Hindi and regional languages, not even Hindi. It lays stress on regional languages. तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले ये है कि हम अपने course contents को translate करें, and I would tell you here, I'm very happy to tell you that IGNOU has already started translating its course content in various regional languages. हमने अपने major programs का उर्दू में, ओडिया, बांग्ला, पंजाबी, इन सारी भाषाओं में अपने कोर्स कंटेंट्स को ट्रांसलेट करना शुरू कर दिया है, ताकि उन क्षेत्रों में, उन स्टेट्स में जहाँ जिन राज्यों में स्टूडेंट्स क्षेत्रीय भाषा में पढ़ाई करना चाहते हैं, वहाँ उनको वो कोर्स कंटेंट उनकी भाषा में उपलब्ध हो. और इससे एक हम अंग्रेजी भाषा के वर्चस्व को तो ख़त्म कर ही रहे हैं, जैसे कि NEP का मैंडेट है. इसके साथ ही साथ हम अपनी क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं के प्रति उनके मन में, छात्रों के मन में एक गौरव का भाव पैदा कर रहे हैं, जो कि बहुत ज़रूरी है. उसके बाद देन जैसे मैंने अभी ऑलरेडी आपको बता चुकी हूँ, इंडियन नॉलेज ट्रेडिशन के ऊपर बात करता है, होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन के ऊपर बात करता है. साथ ही एक जो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट बात हुई है वो है इंक्लूसिव एंड इक्विटेबल एजुकेशन. एक्चुअली सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट हम अपने सिनारियों में देखते हैं तो हम पाते हैं दैट एजुकेशन इज़ द ग्रेटेस्ट लाइफ चेंजर एलिमेंट इन दैट कैन हैपन इन एनीबडीज लाइफ. एक सिर्फ शिक्षा ही है जो व्यक्ति को it can completely transform one's life, one's personality. We have a number of examples. Let's take just one example. हमारे भूतपूर्व राष्ट्रपति श्री अब्दुल कलाम जी, आप हम सभी जानते हैं उनके बारे में. So education आदमी के हाथ में सबसे बड़ा शस्त्र है. But the question arises that whether we are ready for equitable education. Actually, here I would like to tell you that recently on 3rd September, just 2 days back, we had a workshop in IGNOU in collaboration with NCRT, and that workshop was attended